As you can see, today's real user review will be on the Greenroom136 face masks. Now, like everybody else in the world, I have been living in face masks for months now if I wanted to go outside of my house. And like everyone else, I'm sure you've tried so many different styles of masks. From disposables to buffs, masks bought locally from small craft vendors, to schmogs, to cotton masks I bought on Amazon. And now we've moved into the Greenroom136 reusable masks. If you saw when Patrick sent me my Metro Runner, he also sent me a 3-pack of the reusable masks. So, how are they? Are they any good? Or are they worth your scratch? Well, yeah, I mean, they are nice. They are pretty good. They're a 3-layer design with one of those layers being a pocket, so you can actually insert your own filter in there. They don't come with filters. They are sold separately. They are priced very reasonably, I believe, at 100 Malaysian ringgit, which is about $24 USD for 3 masks. Now, I believe the last time we bought a pack of reusable masks, it was about 25 bucks, and I think we got 50 reusable masks. And I mean, they're great. The reusable masks are actually pretty comfortable, but they're one and done. So I mean, now you're rebuying them all the time. You're creating waste. How many of these are going to end up in a landfill? How many people are buying these and they're ending up on the ground and just thrown away? That's disgusting. That's terrible. You shouldn't do that with any trash. Never mind these masks. So 25 bucks for 24 bucks for a 3-pack of reusables. That's pretty awesome. And I've mostly been going between my OD, because I love this color, and my black with the red shock cords. And I have my third one always stashed inside my Metro Runner because this bag's almost always on me. So I keep this one, black with blue shock cords, in the bag all the time. Because yes, even after 6 months, sometimes I still forget to grab a mask when I'm running out the door. So I've mostly been alternating between these two. I hand wash them pretty much almost every night. I'm washing masks. I just throw these in a little bucket with some detergent, do a little scrubby dub, lay them as flat as possible, and you're good to go. The reason I personally hand wash them is because the metal ring for the nose, I don't want to get that all broken inside in the washer, because that is a great feature, especially if you wear glasses, because you can get it to kind of fit snugly around your nose. If you can hear me, you can get it to fit snugly around your nose without it getting too much fog, because that brings me into one of the positives that we're going to talk about in a second. So I've been rambling. Let's get into the real user review part. We'll start with the negatives of the mask. Now, honestly, I don't know if it's totally true. I'm sure it is, but a comment on one of my posts, either on Facebook or one of my YouTube videos, maybe my unboxing video, was someone said that they thought that their voice was too muffled with the mask. I mean, your voice is going to be muffled with any mask on, so it's not just these masks, but I'm thinking it's because it's the 3-layer design, so it's a little bit thicker. So yes, my voice is definitely muffled, and definitely more so than if I'm wearing a buff, because that is a thin single layer. So I mean, a buff is probably the least muffled mask that I've worn, but I think maybe it does muffle my voice a little bit, but it's because they're quality materials. They're a little bit thicker, so it's going to protect you better with the materials being used, and I can still breathe fine and everything in here. But I think that might be one of my only negatives, really, is the muffledness of my voice. But again, you're going to get that with any mask you wear, and if you stick a filter in there, which I do not have one in here right now, you're going to muffle your voice even more. But again, that's with every single mask. You're covering your face, your mouth, the part that the noise comes from. You know, you're blocking that somewhat. So yeah, your voice is going to be muffled. Maybe a little more so with the GR136 mask, but that's because they're a little bit thicker quality or thicker materials. But I didn't find it much of an issue. I mean, I've asked people to repeat themselves with their reusable masks on, with their cotton masks on, and people have asked me to repeat myself with just about every different mask that I've worn. So it's by no means a deal breaker. It's just a point of note more than a negative, but I mean, if we want to nitpick, everything's going to have a negative. And that's really the only negative I have on the masks. Now for the positives. I pretty much named one of the top ones already. $24 and you get 3 usable masks. That's pretty awesome. Now as far as comfort goes, these are very comfortable to wear. I think maybe they stick out a little bit further in the front than some of the masks, but that's because there's form and structure to these, where a lot of the masks I've been wearing were like the cotton masks I got on like Amazon or eBay, and those just flatten your face. But the structure and the form on this is great because you can actually breathe in these. When the mask is right on your mouth, it's really hard to breathe because that layer of material is like it's right over your nose and your mouth, and it's hard to talk. You're sucking it in when you're talking. You're trying to breathe, and the materials are going into your mouth or your nose. The form on these is great because it does stick out a little bit further, and it really helps me to talk and to breathe. And I personally, I'm a little congested now because I'm getting a cold, and I'm also allergic to my cat that sleeps pretty much in my face every night. But normally I can still only breathe out of one nostril at a time, so I have a hard time breathing. And in some of those masks, with them being right on my nose, I can't breathe. So like if I do need to breathe, I end up breathing through my mouth more, and then I'm sucking the material in. Not an issue with the GR masks because they have that structure and that form. Look, I'm just holding it by the sides, and they're still, I mean, it's floppy because I'm holding it, but there's still structure and form there. So that really helps with the breathing. The metal, couldn't think of the word metal. The metal nose piece is great because I wear a tiny bit looser because I don't want it digging in, because at least with me, it gets in underneath my glasses a little bit if I make it too tight and too snug, so it's a little uncomfortable. So I wear a tiny bit looser, but again, without it being like a cotton mask, it helps to hold the form up by my nose so I don't get all the glasses fog, because that's a major issue for people that wear glasses and have to wear these masks. Some of those cheap masks, you just fog up constantly. You can't see at all. And the only thing I really notice when it does fog up is if I'm just getting out of the car and I'm going outside or going into a building, because there's a bit of an atmospheric change, if you will. So that's more of the cause of the fog up. Once I'm inside, it's like less than a minute and I'm not getting fog. Like when I get out of the car to go to work, I'll throw it on to walk into the building, and usually as I'm walking to the building, I get a little fog. By the time I get to the door, I'm good. Then I walk in, I get a little bit more fog, and then by the time I get to the time clock to punch in, I'm usually good to go. So it's very, very minimal, which if you're wearing some of the cotton masks, I can't see. I'm constantly adjusting them. I'm usually trying to wear them at the very tip of my nose, just so I can get some of that air to come out before it gets right to the lenses. This I can wear just fine, and I'm good. I got a little fog going on because I haven't had the mask on, but I guarantee if I sat here for a couple of minutes there, it's already starting to dissipate. It's not nearly as bad, but I'm also doing a lot of mouth breathing right now, if you can even hear my voice through the mask right now. So they're great for not fogging. Comfort wise, very great to wear all day long. Now I will say, I personally don't have to wear a mask all day long because I work alone in an office. There's no one else in the room, so I'm pretty much only wearing these normally to get into the building, to go to the restroom, go to the lunchroom to get my lunch, in and out of the building, and the groceries, anything else like that. But I have done a few things, a few weekend trips with the family, just like to the zoo, or we went to an amusement park, a local one, and I've had it on for 4 or 5 hours. And one of those trips, it was about 90 degrees out, and I had this on for probably 4 or 5 hours straight in 90 degrees, and I was pretty comfortable. That's going to bring me to the next part of comfort, is these shock cords. They're very soft. They're pretty pliable. They're comfortable on the ears. So wearing just the shock cords for an extended period of time, they were fine for me. Now, if I had to wear a mask every single day for 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day, I'd probably want to use the ear savers that came included. Now, I did give them a shot. They're very simple to install. Simply untie the ends of your shock cord, slide the hook side onto one and the ring on the other. Then what I do is tie them tight enough so the knot's not going to slip, but loose enough that I can easily untie it. And this is so I could adjust it to get the sizing of my head right. You'll get to the point where the shock cord is not going to be rubbing on the back of your ear, and you're good to go. To get the sizing for the ear loops, again, you want to leave the ends just loosely tied, tight enough so they're not going to slip, but loose enough that you can easily untie them. And you're just going to want to tie them and untie them a couple of times just to find your comfort level. You want it to be tight enough that it's not going to fall down off your nose, but loose enough that it's not going to be digging into the back of your ears or the bridge of your nose. Then once you get your comfort point, you're going to want to lock down those knots and tighten them up, and then simply snip the ends off with a pair of scissors and melt the tips just so you don't fray. The reason I left a little bit of extra nub at the end of these is in case I did want to untie them to use the ear savers. It's a lot easier to untie them if you have a little bit extra than if they're totally cut off. And if I need to adjust them at all, it's easier to, pull it up, pull it down, because it is shock cord, so it is going to slip a little bit. But I like that little extra nub, and once I tuck them down so they're facing out from my head, it doesn't bother me at all. It's not rubbing, it's not tickling my earlobe, it's not tickling my neck. I don't notice it there. So yeah, for 25 bucks, I mean, it's a good deal. It's a great price. I mean, other cottage companies are selling their masks for like $45, $50. I don't know if that's like a 2-pack or a 3-pack, but you get 3 masks. I know I'm only showing 2. The third is inside my Metro runner. You get 3 masks for 24 bucks. 24 bucks. And they're great. I mean, I've washed these a couple times now. I mean, more than a couple, but they don't really look, they're not faded at all. I mean, I've been hand washing them, so that's definitely helping with them not fading, but they're super comfortable. These are my go-to now. I think I wore a cotton face mask once to get my hair cut because I didn't want to get, those little hair fibers when you get the sides shaved down, and I want to get those stuck in here and never be able to get them out and then make my mask itchy, so I just wore a cheaper cotton one to get my hair cut. But really, that's it. The only thing that I've worn that's just as comfortable is probably a buff. And I mean, if you want to go for protection wise, a buff is just a single layer. There's not much there. It's not going to protect you much, but the buffs are really comfortable. They're just not ideal to wear in the summer when it's like 90 degrees outside and then you have this thick bunch of material on your neck all day long. So that's really when I switched from buffs to face mask period, was when I got hot out, because wearing that buff around your neck all day long, that's pretty brutal. But I like face masks now because they're quick, they're easy. I don't have to wear that thing. In the winter, maybe I'll wear a buff a little bit more here and there because it's gonna be cold. But the ear savers are great, not for me because I don't have to wear them all day long, and especially if you're wearing a hat, or, I mean, it's just easier to go ahead and put this mask right on. I can put it on, I can take it off very easy. The ear savers are awesome, as in just they come with the 3-pack, so they're awesome that they come with the masks. So since I've been wearing a hat pretty much all day, every day, I've just been wearing the shock cord because it's just easier for me. And again, I don't have to wear the mask all day long, so I don't have to worry about it digging into backs of my ears all day long, because I'm really only wearing, if I don't have to go to the store, I'm really only wearing this mask for a few minutes a day, going in and out of the building and going to the restroom and stuff. When I'm filming, I'm wearing it more, but I'm filming maybe once a week, so when I'm filming, I'm wearing it for an hour or two, and even then it's comfortable moving around. And when you're filming stuff, you're in bending your body into precarious positions, so yeah, sometimes you're huffing and puffing because it's not very comfortable, and the mask is fine to wear. I forget I'm wearing it. I mean, I'm sure we're all forgetting we're wearing masks now because we're wearing them so much, but throw her on, forget it. So if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button. ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications next time I post a brand new video. Good night.